As you guys know, this past Thursday, Trent was going to give us all a masterclass on how to play Zen, but unfortunately, the stream died and I was not able to recover it. So what we did is Trent and I recorded a game of us playing against a Jarl, and Trent provided me all of his insight and gave me all the knowledge and really taught me a lot about how to approach the Jarl matchup. And as I thought it would be a lot easier with like 30 blues in our deck, but Trent really knows what he's doing. So this game is going to be Trent breaking down how to play against Jarl and what you need to look out for as Zen. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. All right, so we're playing against Jarl. We are going first. Our opponent chose for us to go first. I believe Trent wants us to play Pouncing Paws, Shuko, Kāṣāya, and Traverse here.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then looking at what we're going to bring in to the deck, what do you think can be sideboard in here?
So I think Cosmic Awakening is really, really powerful in this matchup, especially if they're playing really defensively. Also with Counter Blessings, it's usually indicative of a longer game. So that really helps shore up that long game.
Okay.
I think Sink Belows and Tiger Eye Reflex are also really good in this matchup to kind of help with potential like preventing of crushes and or blocking out an Oakenold if need be, if they're an arsenal. They really help a lot for that.
Okay, that makes sense.
With those being added, I like E-Strikes because it can help unclog a hand that's like a lot of D-reacts or a lot of defensive cards at once. I also like Key Unleash into the slower games where we can kind of have a really explosive chain ender.
Yep.
Also, I like CNC. I would say 2 is probably fine. Yes, it puts us over 60, but I think it's not the end of the world to have an extra CNC in the deck.
Okay.
Because it can help us again with a potential mid-range plays that we may need to play into with this matchup.
No, I like that
that's
a lot.
Where I would be.
Having 61 is like, as a general idea, not something I'd lean towards, but I do like the idea of having like the 2 CNCs. So what I'm thinking here is we can play Harmony of the Hunt, pinch to Wind Chakra, and pitch Wind Chakra, throw Tiger, throw the Tiger, or we have we want to see Transcend cards, right? So we want to be spending our cards here, I would think.
Yes.
I imagine it has us playing Harmony of the Hunt, right? That's probably where we start.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that we pitch the Chakra because I heard you say earlier that Biting Breeze is one of the best cards to transcend off of.
Yes.
So we can use that to transcend, and then plus Breed Anger is a 3 block we can leave in hand. Plus also works really well with whatever we're trying to do next turn, I'm sure.
I could also be talked into just playing it here, just because it's another card we're cycling to try to get closer to a Transcend card.
So would you rather go Tiger for 1 into Breed Anger? Because we can't throw the Stick and the Breed Anger here.
Yes. I think Stick is fine. I think just going Stick Tiger may be fine and better for the sake of like what our turn could be. Because also, if we don't draw a Transcend card, we could go Biting Breeze. If Biting Breeze hits, we get a Tiger into Breed Anger, which I think is also like a pretty fine line. If it comes down to it.
We're also like preserving our deck a little bit here, which I think is pretty powerful. So, all right, immediately seeing, I would say a decent hand.
Yeah. This is pretty good. Oof. That makes it a little harder.
Makes it awkward here. So, we can't really respond. It's not like we have 2 Transcend cards, so we kind of just have to let the channel come into play.
I'm trying to think if we have the ability to play through it with this hand.
We probably do, right? Like just looking at it.
We could play a pretty mid-rangey hand, like turn back at them.
Is there any world where we block with a Breed Anger here, and then we pitch levels to play Biting Breeze, have 2 floating, play the Grains to transcend, and we basically net stay the same on resources because we go down to 1, then up to 2 off Kāṣāya, and then we have the ability to use our 2 resources to throw the Breed Anger?
Part of me feels like we could save the Grains this turn. I like blocking with Breed Anger a lot. I think what we could do this turn is go pitching into Biting Breeze, which I agree with. I think we can wait out this channel.
Okay.
I think we can wait it out, at least a turn or two, pretty comfortably. So I like throwing Biting Breeze first.
Pitching the levels.
If it hits, yes. If it hits, I don't see much of a reason to throw the Tiger, to be honest, other than getting the 1 damage off of the Shuko, but that doesn't feel like enough for this turn. I think just throwing the Breed Anger might be fine because it's clearing out another card from our hand. And it's a decent play to just kind of keep a trade. Yeah, like him giving us cards like that feels really good for this trade.
Yeah, I agree. Getting 2 cards there, I think, is ultimately a win. Plus, we're setting up the Transcend card here. Sync feels kind of awkward.
Mm-hmm.
This whole hand feels not great.
Sync could be helpful here. Sync could get us another blue to help out with the grains this turn.
So we have to put a card in the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's probably the Aspect.
Yeah, I would say either Aspect or Swipe, and then maybe sinking the. Oh no! Wait, we would have to pitch into Sync this turn.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the problem here that I'm kind of seeing a little bit here. So what I'm thinking we do is we pitch the Tiger Swipe to Sync this, and then we just throw the stick at them on their turn or on our turn, and we can just try to wait for another turn here.
I could see that, or blocking with Swipe and over pitching to the stick. But I think either line's fine. This line's keeping us at 40, preserving this Tiger Swipe in our deck. I don't hate it.
I was like, I like the life total was not really my bigger concern there. I think that keeping the Tiger Swipe in deck is way better here. Is like really my big thought process there.
Sure.
And sorry, I kind of clicked through that. If you want me to make a different play, let me know. I'm happy to like go back and do things differently.
I think it's a fine play, and I'm fine to see how it kind of rides out here.
All right. Come on, internet. Our biggest obstacle. My internet.
The biggest opponent of the evening.
Bro, honestly, though. Yeah, I tried to refresh about 5 seconds ago, and nothing's happened.
Yikes.
There we go. Yo. No blues?
It can happen, as unfortunate as it is.
So...
But we do get a Tiger this turn.
I mean, this is 10 Dominate, which is pretty good. How do you feel about blocking with a Tiger Eye Reflex? And then I'm thinking it's Tiger... Man, I don't think there's a way to make it happen here.
No, we can't have our cake and eat it too, unfortunately, on this one. It's a little painful.
Is it just block with a swipe? Like 100 wins the Tiger into Tiger Swipe?
I can see kind of both ways here. I think that's probably our best line at this moment. As unfortunate as it is, I think that's our best line.
We give ourselves like a little bit of an intellect penalty here with the Chase the Tail, but the Chase the Tail is also like an insanely powerful card here.
Yeah, and we have the Transcend waiting in Arsenal. I think it's fine. We just kind of have to see what sort of disruption they offer going into their next turn.
Yeah, I mean, we really just need one turn is what it feels like right now. Like, we've seen so many, like, early reds that we just need, like, one turn to be able to make this happen.
Which can happen. Another thing, too, is if they give us Stalagmite this turn, we are able to cycle this whole hand, and it's even better.
That would be awesome if we were able to do that. Because I know that we're going to, like, transcend a lot, so we're going to be able to shuffle quite a bit here. I mean,
and my thought process too is in thinking that that's a good a win for us would be like, oh, maybe we lead Tiger and then swipe and then go into 100 wins if they had blocked with Stalagmite. But
Okay.
they didn't, so it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely very interested in saving double count your blessings. Okay.
Unfortunate.
So they go
But
back to
that's
42,
good
which is tough.
because it means they're not disrupting us.
Okay. So this hand
What the
is
hell?
pretty good.
Yeah.
This hand's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good for them just doing double count your blessings.
All right, so we're going to go Stir and Homage to start the turn.
Yep.
I assume we're going to use Kāṣāya twice just because they are playing Ice, Blizzards, and...
Yep, it can really help us with the resource curve for the turn.
For sure. All right, so do we just want to lead on Stick here?
Yes. Because, again, that kind of is playing into that, like, the weird numbers, and, like, the first Tiger is going to be for 1. And then Shuko will trigger on the second one, which puts it up for 4. I really like running Tigers if they're attacking and they're dealing damage. I like throwing them at these weird breakpoints that aren't necessarily efficient for blocking.
No, that makes sense. Are we Mauling Qi here?
That's where my head's at.
Like, it allows us to like play around Blizzard. I mean, I guess we have the grains, so we're just pretty much always playing around Blizzard. Like, there's never really a world where we're just going to get got here, so to speak.
Yep. We're fine resource-wise, 110%. Even through Stalagmite. Like, this play also, the resource curve also works through Stalagmite. If they have Blizzard as well, then we can do grains and make it work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't even have to use the grains to play around Stalagmite here, which is super... Well, it's really good, but it's also face up at this point. So now they're like aware about that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. It's just a good thing to note that like if they do block with Stalagmite here, that it was face up, that they did not like that using that was not a good play.
Yep.
All right. So they have 4 Earth cards, which means their plows are going to be for 6. And they have 2 Count Your Blessings in their graveyard. Yeah. So here. So now we're going to need to do this.
Yes. Which is fine, and it works perfectly fine with the resource curve.
So we just have to pick something, because this isn't technically on the chain yet. I mean, it's not great, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I wish we could pick the aspect here. That would be cool. I mean, yeah, or no, actually, yeah.
I would say no. I would say no, because then it's going to be stranded in our hand.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I feel like stranded is probably a stretch. Like, I understand what you're saying, but like, man, we always want Qi, right? Like, Qi's where it's at, dude.
Yes. but Qi that isn't already a Qi is worth a resource plus a random card from our deck right now, right?
Okay.
So I'd say it's probably better this way.
That makes sense. So we get the shelter, and then the Mauling Qi
probably buys. They would have to give us all their equipment.
Yeah, they won't. They'll just take 6 here, I think. Yeah, but either way, this was a good hand for us.
100%. This hand also really good.
So Harmony into Preserve, or actually, are we throwing levels and then playing Preserve?
That's what I think. That's what I think we should be doing this turn.
Okay. And then we'll go Preserve here. We'll put a Chase the Tail back in the deck.
It's the best card in our deck. It's the best card in our deck.
All right. I'm here for it. We will gain a resource. We might as well here.
Yep.
And then we're going to go ahead and activate Zen. Well, man, this is lag of the century tonight, dude.
Yikes.
Okay, there we go. Activate Zen, so we get a Tiger in our hand. We are looking at the Mauling Qi as a finisher that we can probably arsenal here. Or is there any world we're going to get a Breed Anger and try to extend our turn?
So when it comes to levels turns, I never know what I'm going to draw, right? So I really like Swipe on these levels plays because it's a 0 cost and it triggers Shuko. So you guaranteed get Shuko value on these sorts of turns and these sorts of play lines.
Okay.
Plus, and you also fit the resource curve of going stick into Mauling Qi. But draw a card is always really good here too.
I was like, I feel like it's just always draw a card, go again, right? Because we want something we can arsenal.
Yep. That is not a card we can arsenal.
Well, admittedly, that is a little awkward.
But it plays around Stalagmite and plays around a Blizzard again.
So now we're definitely just throwing the stick.
Yep.
So stick puts them to 27, I assume. Yeah, okay. I was like, I imagine they're not doing anything. Crouching Tiger is for 1. The Tiger Swipe is going to be for 5. Well,
if it'll go.
Man. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they're going to block 5 this time around. Now, I don't think I even want to throw the Mauling Qi here, right? I think we're just safe to arsenal it, right? And just set up for next turn.
I mean, they still have cards in hand. Like, I think throwing Mauling Qi here isn't wrong. We're going to IP ourselves kind of no matter what happens here, unfortunately. I think Mauling Qi is fine just because they have less cards in hand. And if we're getting those cards, great. Because then we can just have tempo again on the following turn. And they're not throwing anything back at us.
Okay.
But that's kind of my thought process on this.
Okay. So they ended up taking 1 there because they give us a sink. We're going to skip on arsenaling. Yes, I do want to skip my arsenal.
What the frick?
I mean...
It's fine. It works out. It's fine.
I was like, this is okay, I think.
It's a chase the tail aspect turn, right? So it's not the end of the world. And we can afford it.
Are we pitching a Qi to stick to start?
Yes. I think holding as much information as possible is good.
Okay.
But I mean, the other part of this is, we have a Qi in hand that we're not pitching to Zen. Like it's kind of telling that we're able to do something, and we kind of have to following this anyways. So
I mean, we just have to activate Zen here, right? Like, yeah, I was like, there's just nothing else for our turn.
Yep.
And it's going to be, where is it? Oh, aspect.
Yes.
Yep. And then we have, oh, that's wrong. Sorry, opponent.
I do that a bunch too.
It's gonna be
Tiger.
Tiger.
Oh, this is the good card. I have to play the good card.
That's exactly what my brain was telling me. All right, so it's Chase the Tail. I'm curious to know. Yeah, they block with Stalagmite here. Just I think hoping that we made a mistake
Which is fine.
Their rationale. I'm actually just pretty happy to pitch the path well traveled here. Because even if they do hit us with a Blizzard now, we're still able to play around it and and push a bunch of tempo here. Because this is going to be for 4.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're currently up 21 points. Not to sound too much like, my Acilio game the other night, but it feels like we're in a really good position right now.
Yeah, a Jarl not blocking. I feel like a Jarl not blocking is incorrect. But
I'm okay. So they're trying to get Shuko here. All right. So this is 11 dominate, and they're trying to get Shuko.
So we get a frostbite this turn.
Yeah. So if I block with Biting Breeze, no. If I block with Shuko and Wax Off, which feels correct, we're going to be open to Frostbites the rest of the game, which is not great, but I think it's our only play. Because then I'm thinking that it's like lead on Biting Breeze, pitching the Cosmic into...
Part of me is considering just going Khakkara into Aspect. Just because it's throwing 5 damage at them, and then you can pocket the Biting Breeze for a potential another Transcend. We're how many Transcends have we done this game? 4?
There's
5?
3 or 4 so far that we've used.
We still have the other majority. Like we still have majority of those cards. The other thing too is we have a Frostbite this turn because of the Ice Quake, right? Isn't that what that does on hit?
Yeah, we get a Frostbite. So
the resource curve of stick into aspect also works fine.
This is our last aspect. Is there any thought to like overpitching to Khakkara and then arsenaling the Biting Breeze maybe to keep that? Or do you think we just have to pressure them?
I think pressuring them here is fine.
Okay.
Because we always have Pouncing Paws. Pouncing Paws just being around means I'm more okay to give up an aspect in order to do like a chase the tail turn later, bailed out with Pouncing Paws, right?
Okay.
But there's that could be wrong. I could be completely wrong in that thought process, but that's where I'm at. This is interesting.
This hand feels pretty solid.
Yeah.
I guess we put the Pouncing Qi on the bottom.
Yeah, I would think the same thing.
And then it's Biting Breeze. So if we put the Pouncing Qi on the bottom, we'll tell our opponent we're thinking here. Then we get to lead on Biting Breeze, see how they block and what they do. We're probably pitching the Ancestral Harmony to make our turn happen, I think.
Yeah,
and
I think so too.
We get to use the Qi.
The thing with Biting Breeze is we need to have a Tiger. So we need to pitch for Zen to start. Then we can Biting Breeze. And then I am not sure what the line is after. We could do a swipe so that we could throw Khakkara this turn, or we could try to do Mauling Qi, or we could try to do Qi Unleashed. I can also see those potential lines.
Is there
just to kind of fit that resource curve?
Is there any world where we lead on Biting Breeze and we go get Chase off this? Because it would be 1 from the breed, 1 from the chase.
I see no reason to throw Biting Breeze this turn, because I feel like chase the tail turns need to be this significant turn cycle, right? Okay. I don't think chase the tail does anything too oppressive with the way this hand flows. I think Breed Anger is just fine. Just fine to kind of throw it at this point.
So you want to start by activating Zen.
That's the call I would make here.
Okay. And then
so we have swipe, Mauling Qi, Qi Unleashed. Mauling Qi plays around them giving us Stalagmite. Swipe lets us be able to play out Khakkara, but also leaves us open to Stalagmite if we want to use Khakkara. And then swipe can kind of also allow us to play around Blizzard a little bit. I don't think it's foolproof though, because we do have an arm slot open.
I think we should get the Mauling Qi, right?
I think so too. I think that's probably our best bet.
I mean, and if they have it, right? Like, that's just kind of the world we're in at this point, I feel like.
As unfortunate as it is, yes.
Now that they've gotten our Shuko. Because we're going to go Crouching Tiger. Then we're going to throw the Breed Anger here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's throw the other Tiger into Mauling Qi. And again, we're just kind of saving this Biting Breeze for a better turn, it feels like.
Yes, that's where I'm at with it.
I wish there was a line where we could have felt like it had more pressure than really just 2 attacks this turn cycle.
It's
like our 2 attacks weren't bad. It just felt like our turn cycle was pretty lacking here, I would say, is how it felt.
I mean, we threw a 3-card 9. So it's on rate. It just was, I think the felling kind of jacked up the turn a little bit, you know? This hand's awesome.
I was like, this hand's insane, right? So we lead here with the Biting Breeze.
Yep.
And then we're not going to transcend until we see what they do.
Yes, I would say till after resolution step on this.
So we're going to take the Frostbite, and we're just going to pitch the Qi and the Cosmic.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
I think it's fine. I mean, it doesn't really matter when, right?
No.
And then we are going to gain a resource.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just Tiger. Do we even need to throw the stick this turn? Well, I guess we should probably Arsenal the Command and Conquer, right? Because they don't have an Arsenal.
I would say no stick until we kind of vibe out what their hand looks like, right? So I think Tiger is good. I can see getting Chase the Tail this turn as well.
Okay.
And there is a line where we don't Arsenal CNC, we Arsenal a Tiger to potentially... No, wait, don't throw that Tiger.
Oh, just kidding. Sorry, opponent. So you want to activate Zen here?
Yes. I think there's a line where we can Arsenal a Tiger and throw CNC here just to kind of put more pressure toward him.
So you want to get a chase? Go chase Tiger CNC?
Yeah, that's the line I'm seeing where I feel like this is probably setting us up in a decent position.
Okay.
As well as threatening their life.
So we get Shelter here.
It's fine.
And they get to stay at 18. And then it's Crouching Tiger for 4, which is really positive. And then it's CNC for 6. I hate that we're missing out on the 1 value from the Sacred Art this turn. Feels kind of like weird to be missing out on that.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that we have Cheese and Cosmic Awakenings pitched together. Not that it really matters, but...
The other line there was going Stick Tiger, and then like CNC afterward. But I think that's fine.
Is there any world we block with every piece of equipment here? Well, no, it's for 6.
Yeah. I think there's a world where we just give Pouncing Paws, just pitch one of our blues, and then we could go Chase the Tail this turn with using Pouncing Paws and Arsenal the Sink Below.
So we block here.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying we'll pitch the 100 wins to the on-hit effect.
Yes. Either or is fine, to be honest, I think.
I mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter which one we pitch at this point. And then you want to go Tiger, pitching the Harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be Chase the Tail into Crack Pouncing Paws for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can Arsenal the Sink and set up.
Yeah. This is another one of those 2-card 7s I was talking about, where you're also kind of given the armor piece, but I think this 2-card 7 is worth it at this point.
No, it makes sense. It's also like it'd be different if we had like, you know, all of our equipment, but the fact that we don't have all of our equipment, I do think like kind of like shapes our turn for us. Well,
this is CNC Pummel.
Yeah, it's got to be Pummel. We've seen one. It could be Count Your Blessings. He's played 4 Count Your Blessings and pitched 1, so it's more likely he has a Pummel here as opposed to another
CYB.
If we wanted to try and play around it, we could block with all of our equipment and like 100 wins or a Biting Breeze here.
Yes. I'm thinking about the aggression on this turn as well. He is at 6.
He's at 6, and if we go to 2, we would take 10, go to 2, have no Sink Below, and then we would have to discard a card from our hand.
Yeah. But I also really like holding Traverse for when we can utilize it.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I see this matchup. I don't see this hand using Traverse super well.
So you think this is just no blocks to the moon here?
I think it is.
Okay. Maybe it's CYB.
It could be. Maybe it's nothing.
Yo. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I feel a lot better being at 6. They had a fruit, so he goes to 8. I mean...
Fine. It's fine. We have an extra red. We have an extra red to throw 3 damage this turn. Come on.
So it's Biting Breeze, play the Passover. We'll get rid of one of his Count Your Blessings.
I have a different thought process.
All right, hit me with it.
I think we could go Rising Sun, Setting Moon, Passover, banish one of their Count Your Blessings, and then with the Rising Sun, Setting Moon, we can kind of figure out like if this turn could be any better, even through transcending and whatnot.
Okay, that's true because we can always put the Qi on the bottom here. So we drew another Qi, which means we'll just put one back on the bottom.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then feels like we're gonna lead on stick here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Is there somewhere else you want to start?
No, I think that's our best move right now. Because I'm thinking about this Biting Breeze. I'm thinking about if we use this Biting Breeze for aggression to try to pressure another Tiger, or if we pocket it for a potential other turn. We're running out of cards that transcend. I think we've seen all of them at this point.
Okay.
I can't think of one. Flexors this turn.
You think that he'll pop Flexors this turn?
He used Tunic. I think he's using Flexors this turn.
Would make sense.
Part of me thinks for this turn, we could pocket the Biting Breeze to pressure another Tiger and go and get Key Unleashed for this turn. Did we already use Key Unleashed?
No, the Key Unleashed is still there.
I can see us using Key Unleashed this turn.
So
because we limit their value on Flexors if we play it that way. I also think throwing the 100 wins this turn is good. We're running out of combo cards. Holy crap.
Yeah.
No, not Tiger. Not Tiger.
Ooh.
Not Tiger.
Hang on. I've requested to undo here. I'm just 30 minutes behind on the lag.
I think 100 wins here is a fine play because we have to go Tiger and then a Key Unleashed.
Yep. So I should have just thrown the 100 wins before I even pitched to Qi.
Which is it's fine. It's fine either way.
I mean, even if we do get hit with a blizzard here, we have the Biting Breeze. We can always pitch to be able to throw more damage. Getting a Terra Sunder out of hand feels pretty good. We're gonna push one over, and then it's gonna be Tiger. This is going to be met with the Flexors here. I was like, I have to imagine. And then we're gonna pitch the Qi to throw the Key Unleashed.
And this is lethal. Sure, they're going to give us Flexors, but then they go to like.
So he's going to take one here, go to 6 because of the Unforgiving here.
Mm-hmm. He didn't get the Mangle though, which is interesting.
Well, we don't have an equipment with a -1 counter on it.
Sure, but also throwing Mangle.
Well, no, he can't.
Oh, he's back up to 8. Dang it.
Like, he can't search for Mangle unless we have something with a -1 counter on it. It's like a requirement of the card.
Oh, is that part of the card? Oh,
yeah.
Damn. If he attacked this turn, this would be such a better hand.
I mean, we can Arsenal this, right? Like,
which one?
That we can just Arsenal the Reflex here.
For sure.
So we just throw the Biting Breeze, I assume is where we're going to lead.
Yes. Yep. And then what I'm thinking after this is over pitching to Khakkara and then playing levels. Just to kind of clear this swipe out of our hand.
Okay, so you want to pitch Swipe and Harmony to Khakkara here?
Yes. That's what I'm thinking.
So we have the Tiger.
He lets this hit. Just kidding.
Are we supposed to just go stick now?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I'm very surprised. I assumed we were going to get the arm piece there.
I thought so too.
Crown? Okay, so obviously the hand does not work in some capacity.
Or he's trying to like Oaken Old pummel us.
Tiger.
This may buy the arm piece block.
Obviously, our opponent really likes their hand.
Yeah.
That, or we've thrown a lot of like 1s and 2s at them, so it's very possible that they have like defense reactions. No.
There's CNC.
And then I assume it's just going to be 5.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have not thrown levels for 5 at my opponent many times, but it does feel pretty good right here.
It's a good chain ender. It kind of fills the same slot in my mind sometimes as Key Unleashed, where Key Unleashed is 1 for 5. Levels can just be another 1 for 5, where it's like, okay, stick levels.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. It's like a solid, like, 2-card hand, for sure. Yep.
These 2-card 7s, dude. I think that's why I can understand this hero to some extent.
Yeah.
When it's like, I'm playing this value game. I'm doing the Reinhardt thing that I've done for so long, where I block 2 cards and I can throw this 2-card 7 at you, right?
You're still getting a lot of the mid-range value, for sure.
Yep.
I want to greed. My opponent, they said I want to greed so bad. I think I lose either way. Dude, LOL, bro.
Dude, they're greeting, but we have a card that can block from Arsenal. I don't think they know this.
I'm unsure if you're just a lot better at this matchup than other Zens I've played, or if you're high rolling. Might be a bit of both. You know what? I'll just save him, from letting him know that we've got Trent, top 8 battle hardened contender over here on the line, coaching me through all these Zens, all these plays.
To be fair, I'm well practiced into this matchup. I lost to it at the first RTN I went through, and I didn't want to lose to it again. So I had my buddy,
No, this is okay. Dude, we're so good right here.
We're fine.
We don't even have to give up everything here.
I think he's got pummel, though, is the issue.
No, he showed us. He's got Blizzard and the Felling of the Crown. Oh. He does not have it here, dude. He strictly showed us the cards.
3. That's 7. We can block all 9 using... we can use Kāṣāya or we can use Traverse here. I don't think Traverse does anything. So yeah, I think giving up Kāṣāya here is fine.
So we give Kāṣāya the Arsenal and then the Sink Below. And we actually...
And we can sink a Qi too.
Yeah.
Because the Qi doesn't effectively do anything.
It's absolutely insane. Like we actually... Man. Ooh, interesting. So they're going to Blizzard.
Yeah. That's okay.
I mean, this is actually just fine, though.
Yeah. We just pitch a card to play the sink, and we don't sink anything.
So we pitch a Qi to play the sink below.
And we don't sink anything.
Yeah, we know he has Felling in hand, which means we're going to get hit with that next turn.
Sure.
So,
but that's if he can hold a hand, right? He's at 1.
Well, we can throw. He just needs to keep 1 card. So we're gonna pitch Khakkara to stick here.
Yeah.
Or Chakra. Sorry.
Yep.
You knew what I meant. I knew
what you meant.
All right. So we get the Frostfang. He played the Blizzard last turn, which is actually kind of nice. We throw this.
Mm-hmm.
This actually probably gets met by Tunic. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. And then we get to Zen.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, too, is... we could get Pouncing, or we could get Red 100 wins. I think Pouncing is fine. No.
So I like the Red 100 wins here because it requires a 3-block instead of a 2-block. Sure. I know there's, quite a few 2-blocks left in our opponent's hand here. And the good news about this play is that they can no longer pummel us here. So it's not on the table for them to pummel us at this point.
Also, we get to keep
just playing the channel. I do not think that's correct.
I think we're fine, though, with that, right? Like, it's not a big deal.
Well, yeah, now they can't attack us or throw the Felling.
Yeah.
Like, and we literally have 4 blues in our hand. Like, this is just fine. So we're going to pitch drop in the ocean to throw the Khakkara.
Yep.
And then we have to pitch the Qi too. So we're not going to be able to Zen this turn.
Are you sure?
I mean, we might be able to. It's going to cost a lot though.
Yeah, it would be too expensive, which is fine.
They had seeds of... Oh, they put the felling on the bottom.
That's going to be really bad.
And so now they're pretty much just able to... They have 3 prevention left.
We could throw the Tiger... No, that doesn't feel good.
I mean, is there any world that we, like... Activate Zen, throw the Tiger, and then not find it? Yeah.
Yep, I think that's fine.
I think that's a very reasonable play for what we're looking at. We're just gonna fail to find here, and then we can throw the Tiger. They don't have to block it technically because of the prevention, but
yeah.
And then we'll just pass.
Yeah, they have a blocking card in hand. It's not the end of the world. That's a pretty decent hand.
They just passed.
Yo, what?
I mean,
Deal?
Yeah, I don't know. That's wild. So we're gonna start with stick pitching wax off, I assume.
Yep.
They have to have a count your blessings.
They have to.
Oh,
Otherwise,
they were. Is it possible they were all reds?
Well, if they're all reds, why didn't they just throw hammer?
I mean, yeah, they could have thrown hammer for 4 with 3 reds. That actually, yeah, I don't know.
Well, they don't have an arsenal if they do that.
Shelter to prevent the 1.
Okay.
Throwing this for 1 doesn't do anything, so we should just go E-Strike for 7, Arsenal to 100 wins.
Yeah, I like that play. I like that play a lot.
Because
it still buys both cards from their hand.
Yeah, and if they have a 2-block, they're dead.
At this point, we're kind of digging for a turn where we can play out
Cosmic?
Yes, thank you.
So
this turn is awesome. Because we have 2 more blue 100 wins in our deck, right? So we can go, like, we can double 100 wins, we could throw stick and throw CNC this turn. I think they're dead.
So
I could be wrong.
I think they're dead too. The only thing that gets us here is a blizzard. The funny part is, like, we're fatiguing them.
Yes. Which has happened.
I hate this deck so much. So we'll just go ahead and throw 100 wins here.
Sure.
They did not play the blizzard, and I think they would have. Also,
Probably.
That tells me they're 3 blocks the rest of the way.
Which, even if they had blizzard here, like, we could still get there with CNC. So, and we also have a Tiger that comes in for 1 as well.
Yeah.
But
so
this is the game.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You could even throw the Pouncing Qi for BM and just be like, just kidding. Probably don't do that in case they have something in Arsenal. But...
I was like, in case they have like a defense reaction, we probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, this is probably just better. Man. Bleg. Yeah, I don't know. Just so hard if you hit that many transcends. I mean, we played a 17-turn game. Like,
you're gonna see him.
I was like, yeah. So I mean, I don't think we high rolled there. Like, do you get the sense that we high rolled? Because it did not feel that way to me.
I don't think so.
We played 30 some blues and we drew them.
I think this is kind of what you can see in the games versus Jarl, where they won't get their fused Oakenolds a bunch, right? Where it's like, okay, I think they presented 1 Oakenold that was fused this game. I think, was this the game that they did Oakenold Terra Sunder?
That was the game. That was the game before. Maybe this was. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, either way, like they didn't apply enough pressure. It felt like it felt like we were just able to play our game. Now, the turn that we were able to give the Tiger Eye Reflex the chest and the sink to cover up the Oakenold was like chef's kiss on the whole turn, though.
Yes. Another thing about this matchup right now, if you look at our board, we still have Traverse. So the second we draw Cosmic Awakening, oh yeah, they're boned. They're 100% boned.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we got there.
Also, the other thing too is the shuffling, right? You're constantly shuffling the deck, so they kind of move around a lot. The next hand was going to be bad. The next hand was going to be rough though, because of the triple transcend card without anything crazy.
They were at 1.
But
it was fine. We won before we got there. It didn't matter, right?
Truly.
This is definitely one of the longer videos I've posted in a while, but it was a great opportunity to really let Trent show how much he knows about this matchup. He showcased when we should arsenal, what cards we should arsenal, and when we should just get aggressive and not arsenal anything. He also really gave us a lot of opportunities to play around Stalagmite or Blizzard and continue our turns throughout there. So we really got a chance to let Trent show that he really knows what's going on and how to beat Jarl, to make sure that you're prepared for your next event where you're playing Zen. Guys, if you see anything you think we missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.